Entitled parents can be the worst. I'm your host, Height. Let's see who's been cursed. Our first one is from OK Training 8198, and it's an update to the first post in the last episode of Entitled Parents. This is starting to feel like a fever dream. Before I start, thank you guys so much. I kept looking at the comments and I never imagined that so many strangers on the internet would support me or give me advice. It feels really good. Secondly, my apologies to those people who attempted to read the previous post and found a wall of words. I will try to format better this time. Now to the actual stuff. As some of the comments suggested, I did go no contact with my aunt. I didn't talk to her, but I got some hateful messages on social media from people I assumed to be my aunt's friends. This worked for a day until I realized the horrible timing of my last post. Our family has these gatherings for dinner around once every 4 or so months, where all our extended family that is descended from my maternal grandmother gathers, usually at a relative's house. This time, it was my parents' turn to host, and it felt good to go back because, in my opinion, living alone isn't fun. I got there at around 3 p.m. today. I'm going back to school tomorrow in order to help prepare and, best of all, beat the rest of my relatives to have some quality time with my parents and sister. As soon as I got there, they showed me my aunt ranting out of self-pity in the family group chat, and we laughed a bit. At around 5, my relatives started showing up, including my aunt and her family. I managed to avoid her for the first hour until dinner, as that's when we all sit at the long table and have this time where we go over what everyone has been up to for the past few months. One of my uncles then asked all the kids how school was, and eventually asked about me and my cousin's internal results. For context, the school I go to follows the IB exam board, and those of you who were in an IB school probably know it's hell. My cousin went first and told everyone, rather smugly, that he got a total of 26 out of 45, a pass, and was told by someone to study harder. It was then my turn and I told everyone I got a 42, which got me a round of applause and a pissed off look from my cousin. Then my aunt decided to stand up and then claim that this was the reason I should help my cousin, as I'm apparently doing well enough, and that my lazy cousin deserves the same opportunity too, because he was trying hard to cut down on playing Call of Duty and is studying. In my opinion, if you take IBDP and still have time for Call of Duty, you must be really smart. She then switched to a customer service voice and started appealing to our other relatives, as well as subtly shading those present that didn't. As some of you suggested, I went and told her that I will donate, but only the same amount of money she paid for my school fees, also known as nothing, and that if my cousin really needed money, I would be glad to share my employer's information with him. I had a lot of fun saying that, but unfortunately got the opposite of the desired effect. My aunt went ballistic and started then blaming my mother for raising a heartless and stupid child, that I was now of the age to be a breadwinner for the family, which she emphasized included her. This then pissed my father off and he hauled my aunt into another room, but we could still hear all his cursing and that she couldn't be dependent on other people. In the end, my aunt walked out with my cousin, but not before demanding that my mother talk some sense into me and some other people, but also to then disown us. This all happened an hour ago. As I am writing this, my aunt is writing in the group chat that if I am to get a scholarship, it should be handed to my cousin, and I should pay for my tuition myself. I don't think that's how scholarships work. P.S. No hate to my cousin, because to be fair to him, he didn't demand any of me. I think he's just irked that I got a better score. I don't think he's stupid, I just think he's devoted all of his brain power to Call of Duty. Edit. Someone has told me that my cousin plays Call of Duty, not CSGO. I don't know how that's going to change the narrative, but to make this person happy, I'll change it anyways. Edit 2. If she does anything more delusional and Reddit-worthy, I'll post an update. Funny. This aunt is just so hell-bent on getting OP to pay for her son. I just can't comprehend that, especially since before it was already established that this aunt makes more money than the OP. You would think when it comes to taking care of her kid, it would be her responsibility. Talk about entitled. And our final one is by Enigma Guy. Long story, but still fresh and annoyed. Partner's brother's wife, guess my sister by law, had a birthday this last week, so we had a day full of kayaking, lunch, window shopping, and dessert planned. Her husband and I work an obnoxious amount of hours at different jobs, so coordinating for both of us to get the second half of the day off to make this happen was a feat in of itself. Rushed home after work, got the kayaks loaded up and all the extra gear loaded into the truck, and asked my partner if we were heading straight there now to meet them, and he said his mother was coming here to carpool with us. Almost every single outing with her, there's some kind of issue. So I was already voicing my annoyance that we were carpooling and she couldn't just drive herself. She shows up while I'm in the kitchen, and when I come to the living room, she is not even remotely dressed for any outdoor activity, let alone kayaking. Picture Stevie Nicks, shawl and all. I asked if she needed to get changed for the trip, and she said she did not think she was going to kayak. What? Didn't press the issue at all, not my fight, and I didn't organize the trip. We'll let brother-in-law sort it out. We drive the 45 minutes to get to the park and launch area and see brother-in-law already has the 2 kayaks for them out, and mother-in-law's inflated one ready to go. I asked if he already paid for the day pass, and he said he didn't see the envelopes, so I walked to the nearby booth to grab them and came back to the truck to find a pen to fill them out. Soon as I open the door, my partner is leaning in the passenger side, shaking his head. I ask what's wrong, and he said the kayaking part of the trip is off. His mom told brother-in-law that she did not want to kayak, she'd just watch. This is a river excursion, not just doing laps in a lake? First time I've ever seen brother-in-law visibly angry in 11 years, when he asked her why she even bothered to come, or agreed to come when she had the chance to back out at my house before we left. She repeated she would just watch, and he just noped out. Deflated her kayak, threw their 2 in the back of his truck, and said, let's just go to lunch. Entire way there, she was silent. Didn't say a word when we got seated at the restaurant until the waiter asked for drinks. Ordering food, she said start at the other side of the table, and when they got back to her, she was not hungry, and then just sulked on her phone on Facebook the entire hour we were there. When we finished, she beelined out of the restaurant and sat on the flower bed stoop at the corner waiting for us. We didn't want to ruin the entire birthday outing, so when we got to where she was, we said we were going to go into a few of the shops and get ice cream after from a place a few doors down. She said that's fine, she's just going to stay here until we're done. The fuck? I asked her if she wanted my keys to go sit in the truck. She said no. It's a nice day out. Bitch. We were gone another 45 or so minutes and came back to her still sulking on the stoop. Offered brother-in-law $100 if he would drive her home because I didn't want to be in that awkward position for another hour, but he declined. This is like the 3rd event in a row, the prior 2 just being audience-type shows, Cirque du Freak, The Addams Family Musical, that she has spoken poorly about during and after the fact. We've all vowed never again, but we'll see if they stick to their guns. It's gotta really suck having that one Debbie Downer in the family that just wants to be a part of everything, but at the same time, not even be a part of anything. The fact that you just feel entitled to come into things and fuck up a whole outing just because you can't decline going to the outing really shows how entitled one can be. Hopefully going forward, they can exclude her from any future events. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled Parents. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.